That's why I said it's about money. I mean, I got some, but I don't want to mess with that. I want to work.
Why don't you want to mess with it?
Because when I get down there, I'll mess with it. Right now,
who says this is
well,
my thing.
Listen,
who
we don't know.
This promise,
it's
right?
not
so
promise.
It's always what it sounds like when I hear it. You're waiting for this, or you're waiting for that, and you're waiting for this. And if you keep saying that year after year after year, then you're gonna run out of time. I'm talking about just your language in general. When you know, it ain't time for this. I need to work a little bit more. I need to get a little bit more. Everything is just, I need more time. But when you was laying in that hospital, let me just tell you what you said before you came out.
Oh, I know what I said.
I ain't going back to work.
Did I say that?
I'm leaving FedEx alone. I'm not doing that Seeds mac and cheese. You know, I'm waiting to finish that off. But I'm not going to be working like I was working. I'm going to enjoy my life. Those were your words. Because, see, sometimes God got a way of sitting us down. We got to listen to what's happening.
I worked because, remember, I said I had a husband that was a street person. We going to eat. We going to have a roof over our head. And that's it.
But Mom,
you have to do that.
How do you think the children showed up? Like, how did you think the children?
I wasn't there for you like I should have been. I did.
Right, but that's
not neglect. That's a strong word.
But the question is, how
when I came from work, I was home and I wanted to know what's going on. I didn't neglect you like kick you to the curb.
But it was
one eye closed and one open.
Yes, because I worked.
Where y'all at?
Yes.
Everybody is shut. Great. I'm off to sleep. So
yeah, but when do you know you're working too much?
I don't think I'm working too much.
Now I think it's different because you don't have to work like you do, but you still work a lot.
Because there's things that I want. I just said I got an empty house.
But when do you know if you are working too
I
much?
don't feel that.
No, but when does a person know if they're working too much?
When do a person?
Yes. What would be too much?
Not her.
For someone your age, what would be too much?
For anybody.
For somebody my age.
I
can't answer that because I don't think I work that much.
she's trying to process. All right.
I don't think I work that much. I work midnights and 4-hour shifts. What in the world?
But wait, okay, you can't use her because she used to work 1,000 hours a day.
4-hour shifts.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
So for example, how would somebody
Now, if I was working at my age like I did years ago, 16, pull a double.
Okay.
That's a lot.
Double, triple.
A double.
Okay.
But 4 hours.
So, are you a workaholic? Be honest.
Yes.
Are you a workaholic?
No.
Are you a workaholic?
I don't think so.
Are you a workaholic?
No.
Are you a workaholic?
Are you a workaholic?
I am a workaholic.
You are a workaholic. I would say you are.
I worked at FedEx during the middle of the pandemic. I purposefully went out. This is a secret. It is, that I just let out. Went out. None of my staff, none of my clients knows. I've been working for myself for over 10 years. But I went out and I got a job. You know why? Because my mental health was suffering. Because I was sitting around feeling so withdrawn and I was in a lot of pain. And the thing that made me feel better
was working.
Walking
that don't make me feel better.
Punching the clock, lifting
That's
those
probably
heavy
your
boxes.
story, and yours.
Not a good
Wait.
Just saying.
Let me tell you, those boxes were so heavy. I'm talking about 200-pound boxes. I was picking them up with my hand, putting them in the trunk, and I was looking really cut too.
But that helps.
And when we moved to my house, I single-handedly carried everything from the trunk into the house, and then I was like, "But Mom, why you gotta carry all the couches in the house with one hand?" I was like, "That's that FedEx life." So I think that I'm flipping it, while we are talking about working too much, I was neglecting myself when I was not working enough, right? Because the studio was shut down.
That's
It means
right.
I'm not seeing clients.
No time.
We're virtually, but it's nothing. I mean,
But his story is a little bit different because he has small children and a wife.
when I work, I feel empowered. When I when I choose to work, and it creates power for me.
Now that's what that looks like for you. Sorry to cut you off, but now Chanel says, I want to pay off a really high mortgage in 4 years.
Right.
And you know, you kind of look at her like, you're kind of crazy for doing it, but when I know for me, when she started getting me right financially, it was like, wow, you know, this can be done. And again, I think that's part of the trauma, because there may be some things she's experienced while she goes so hard on the finances and how she sees it, and how she really see that, you know, the world is somewhat of a get over. Like, really 30 years on this mortgage, and I ended up paying you triple what I was going to give you.
But I think part of it, I just wanted a thing on what Mommy's, as far as work ethics. Mommy was always saying, oh no, you don't get to sit down. Oh no, you need to constantly be moving. So even if I think one of us got in our spirit that we wanted to actually sit down and not do anything, Mommy would be like, oh no, we don't do that. You need to keep moving. You don't get to kind of sit.
That
You
might
need
be
to figure it
trauma,
out.
though.
It could be a
I
little
feel like
bit.
that's
I think it was
traumatic. That part.
maybe because we could have also been 5 kids who didn't really want to have a hustle. You know what I mean? That wasn't
As
moving
children, you got to get up and go to school. You can't even get sick.
I don't think it's trauma. I don't think it's trauma. I don't think.
Listen, I remember I met my wife. I met Charlotte in 2013. I'm sick. I'm throwing up. I'm vomiting. I'm defecating on myself. Like, this is just bad, right? Right? I'm sick. I got the flu. And I remember her saying, "Don't go to work. Don't go to work." I'm like, I gotta go to work.
Who said this?
This is what Charlotte's saying. So she says, I'm calling your mother. So already the light bulb in my mind that
She gonna be like, go to work.
right? So she called mommy and she like, he's sick, he's this, he's that. He can't go to work. My mom was like, well, no, he gotta go to work.
That's trauma.
His butt is in the work.
That's right.
She couldn't believe it. Yeah. She couldn't believe it.
Same thing when it was time to go to school when y'all were younger. Listen, we gonna have some cough medicine and some bear aspirin. You got to go. We got to go. Ain't no sitting around and
I didn't realize that probably was something that we got, because I would always tell my kids, listen, don't go to school and be going to that nurse's office and call me talking about you coming home.
No,
we don't do that. We don't
right.
go to the nurse's office,
that's
okay?
right.
So even to this day, Mama, don't go to the nurse's office.
But
We
see,
don't do
that's
that.
the problem. This is a problem, though.
This is trauma. This is not.
I think
Yes,
it
it
almost,
is,
but I think
because-
it could be trauma, right?
No, it
could be,
is.
but it could
This
also
will push
create
you-
strength.
Yeah, because it puts you in a situation. Now you so strong and you don't need this and I don't need that. And when you end up? Alone. With all your money. Like, no. That don't work.
That's a good point.
Well,
say that again.
you end up alone being so strong.
With all
That might
your
be
money
true.
and all your independence, and I, didn't accomplish this, and like, no. Sometimes they said it in church. We was in church a few weeks later. Sometimes you need to fall back. Fall back and like just, yes. Like everything
it's
is
a
not.
degree to fall back, I think.
Well,
Because
yes,
fall
okay.
back could be-
You're not gonna just stop. You can't stop.
Thank you so much for joining us at Lundy's Family Dinner.
I believed for a long time that I was one person. And then in 2017, I figured out that I wasn't that person at all. I have to use the bathroom so badly, but I'm too scared to tell him that I have to use the bathroom. And so I stand in that store and I urinate on myself multiple times a day. In between clients, I see a client and I'm thinking at the end of the session, I can't wait until this is over because I really need to call and just talk about X. Hamidullah and I are in Kmart with him, right in Somerset. And we're scared. We don't want to be with him.
Make sure you tune in next week for Lundy Family